Hi, it's Jean and Whip, and this is Kept in Stitches, my week in review. So, Whip says, welcome. I say, welcome. Come on into the Stitching Cottage. Let's see what I accomplished this past week. And let's hope that Whip doesn't get into any mischief while we're doing this. Say goodbye. He is definitely living up to his name, WHIP, which stands for, as all you quilters know, work in progress. But he's adorable and lovable and so cuddly. So take a nap, WHIP. Okay, so what did I manage to get accomplished in the Stitching Cottage this past week? Those of you that follow me regularly know that I actually did take this past week off. Needed some time to rest and just work on a few health issues. So I really didn't get a lot done, but I do have quite a bit of stuff to share with you. And first off, we'll go ahead and talk about this new addition that is right behind me in the corner here, which of course is my stitching corner. And that is my new floor stand quilt hoop. Decided that I would like to have one of those out here for working on my hand quilting the larger quilts while I am out here. I do have the lap hoop that I use quite frequently, but for some of the larger quilts, because I'm not able to set my hand quilting 3-rail frame that is huge up out here, I actually call her Big Bertha, I decided I would get this beautiful Amish made floor stand hoop for out here, and I really have been enjoying it. This is my husband's retirement quilt that is actually on it. Yes, he retired a few years ago, but you know how it is. Those projects that are for ourselves, our personal ones, are the ones that seem to be putting back and back and back and lower and piled with all the new projects on top of them that we are doing for other things. Our own always are the last to get finished. So I am hoping to finally get the hand quilting on this one done so that it can either be displayed proudly and loved in our home or put on a bed. Who knows what we will do with it, but it is going to be an heirloom quilt, so it will be taken well care of. So I've been working on that. Some of the other things that I did work on was organizing a few things. You know I'm always organizing. Got some more of that done a little bit at a time because I really needed to rest and stay off of my legs. So I did that as much as possible. But one of the things I did also work on, because you know I have a lot of hand stitching projects, so I can sit with my legs up and still have something to work on. And the one that I chose to work on the most this week was our slow stitch project. Mine will be a snippet roll, and it is the Follow Your Heart project. And you can see I am almost done with it. I've got my hearts applique on, everything is stitched down. We've got blanket stitch around this, the yo-yo flowers are stitched, the embellishments of the little stems and leaves and little flowers are done there. All that I have left to do is some decorative beading that will be going up from the flowers, and then some more background stitching, and it will be completed. So that is the main project that I worked on this week. I also did design a couple more patterns. Those will be coming up in the future. No planned date for those, but I always like to sit and design patterns, quilt patterns, crochet patterns, that type of thing. So I did design 2 more quilt patterns this past week. And I also need a new quilt project to be working on during my lives on Fridays for the Stitch Tips and Chat. And I have an old WHIP that I pulled from the ones that I pull a number randomly each month, and that is the one that I work on from my works in progress that I have many of. As you will all well know, we have at least 200 and counting that are inventoried. But this is one I pulled a while back and I just did not get to it. So I decided it was a good one to take back out and work on during those Fridays. And it is a really cute, simple pattern. It is a Terry Atkinson design, which those of you that are familiar with her, she does awesome patterns, very beginner friendly. Her instructions are written so well, step by step, illustrated along the way, that anyone would be able to follow one of her patterns and have a really joyful time making any of her quilts. But this is the actual pattern, cheese and crackers. But this is a picture of the quilt as it was done in the quilt shop I was at the time that I found this, and I fell in love with the darker background and everything of that. So this is similar to how mine will be made. And everything is already pre-cut in here, ready to go and start stitching on Friday morning. So look forward to seeing that done in the next couple Fridays. Who knows how long that will take, but I'm sure it'll take at least 2. So those are the projects that have been being worked on. Now, to get to what I really have a lot to show you, and that is the things that I've gotten in the mail. And of course, you know, I did go on the one-stop shop hop here at the Nutter Center, where in Ohio, that I just happen to live down the street from, and go. They have that twice a year, and I have gone since the very first time years ago that they started doing that. I have a very good quilting buddy that we go together. I have a couple, but because I wasn't able to make it on the original first day that we were planning to go because of the swelling in my legs and stuff, had to go the next day instead. So only one of my quilting buddies was able to go along, but we had an awesome time. We both got worn out and had to sit down and take a break several times, but we had a great time. And I didn't go with a budget. Had I had a budget, I'm sure I would have gone over it, or I did go over it. Let's just put it that way. But I did get several things that I'm going to share with you. I have gotten a few things in the mail. So first off, just to keep you waiting, I'm going to show you what I got in the mail first. And I don't think I have shared this project with you in the past. I love Tilda fabrics. And in my search for trying to find Tilda fabrics, they are hard to find in the United States. It is an Australian designer. Love her patterns also. But I came across the Intrepid Thread Quilt Shop, which is in California. And she is doing a Fields of Fancy stitch along. It's a monthly stitch along, and each month you get more that goes with this awesome hand stitched stitch along. So that I believe it's 1, 2, 3, about on the 4th month that I have been receiving items for this, and it comes, I mean, beautifully packaged, which of course the first month, the starting part was all received in this box, which as much of it as I can, I am keeping in that box. But this, it always comes with her letter explaining what is in there, and there's always extras besides what is for the pattern. And it says she's so excited to send this bundle of pretty. The first month is a box full of love from me to you. Here are all the things I promised. For those of you that got one of the fabric options, you got either the Liberty or the Tilda you wanted. The pattern pack with the templates, the sweet Acufactum fabric to fussy cut, the pre-printed linen panel, and the embroidery floss. These are things that will be in each month of the block of the month. The patterns will be different each month. And then the extras. After I'd already offered this block of the month, Sharon, the designer, came out with a linen panel of tiny embroideries to fit in the center of the blossom blocks. I thought I would buy those patterns for you all as a special gift for you, and I was going to include 3 designs a month. But they came wrapped up in a cute package, so you're getting them all at once. You will have to remember each month that they are an extra hug from me to you. The needle minder from Bone, France was too cute and I couldn't resist. I hope it makes you smile. Some of my favorite needles. Isn't it fun to have an extra special set of needles for a new project? Yes, it is. An embroidery hoop. I love this style. It's so great for keeping your fabric extra taut. Wonder clips for holding your edges. You will see in the tutorial, which there is a tutorial included with every month. And there's also a YouTube video with some great tips and everything. I think that's on a weekly basis. And then a 1/4 yard of silky cream background fabric to applique your blossoms to. And last but not least, 2 pouches. The larger one to keep all your bits in and your larger templates, and the smaller one to keep your tiny templates and paper pieces. I tend to lose my tiny templates in the mess on my table. This keeps everything corralled. I'm so excited to spend the next little while with you all creating this personal and beautiful project. And it's signed Julie. But this is what some of the extras are. The floss, a little extra project, the hoop, the needles that she was talking about. Set that over there so it doesn't fall. These are the Tilda fabrics that were included for this month. And this is the fabric that she is talking about. That is the one that is fussy cut. And then here is the pouch, and she has everything in it. And just so you can get an idea of what this project is, and I will take this out. We are doing these hexagons, the little flowers inside of them, and then it has the embroidery on the middle part that you can see there. Which this are the pre-printed linen little ones that go right inside the flower petals. And of course, Whip decided to get his noisiest toy out to play with. We will pick that up so he can't do that anymore. But that is what the project basically consists of, and each month we get more of the fabrics and the things that go along with that. So that is what is in the other monthly packets there, and I'm going to quickly put this all back in here so that I do not misplace any of it. But so each month there is another packet of the fabrics, the beautiful, beautiful Tilda fabrics. There is the one that is to be fussy cut for the month, and then the little extras that she includes, which is a beautiful embroidery pattern, some floss, and it has the perfect circles in there for templates for applique. But we're going to lay that down, and I'm not going to open the other two. It is very similar. But that is a project that I am getting every month for a stitch along. And as you can see, I have not gotten started on it yet because I am working on trying to finish up some of the other items that I am working on first. And then also in the mail, I did receive, and this I got because it is actually one of the things that is used in that project, and I thought, oh, that is awesome. And I do a lot of applique and thought this was an awesome product. It is applique paper. It is a semi-water soluble, single-sided, fusible, semi-transparent for easy tracing, inkjet printable, and it's used for Hugs and Kisses glue stick applique, prepared needle turn applique, English paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, or embroidery stabilizer. And you can actually leave it in there. It doesn't harm anything, and with a little water it dissolves and goes away. So got that. And I also have several applique projects that I have coming up here shortly. And I have never invested in a good applique pressing mat. So, which this one came including a little silicone trivet for your iron also to place on. But I got this awesome applique mat, a nice large size one, and this is of course the heat resistant cover that you put over top so that nothing gets on your iron or anything else. But that is a couple of the things that I received in the mail. And from Fat Quarter Shop, I ordered these. And you know, I'll have to refresh my memory on what project I was getting these for. But this is a fat eighth packet. A fat eighth of every fabric in the collection. It is, okay, where is it? We'll probably be able to read it on here better. Let me look. It is the Antoinette Fat Eighth Bundle from French General, which is Moda Fabrics. Beautiful, beautiful fabrics. And I'm pretty sure it may be one of the patterns that I designed that I will be using that for. And then I also got, because I wanted to see what quality these were, these are from Amazon. I see them all the time when I'm on there. It is a jelly roll from Tiny Spool and Company. And it's called Water Lily Pond. And I just thought they were really, really beautiful pastel colors. And I wanted to try them out and see what quality that they have. And from feeling it, I can't tell that there's any difference from the Quilt Shop cottons that I get. But we will see once I get into them and start using them. And I also needed some more of the little fingertips that I use on my finger to help me pull the needle when I'm hand stitching and especially hand quilting. So those I also got in the mail this past week. And it was Leanne on Pastry Chef Farm Girl, something like that. I'll leave her link in the description box. But she was, no, it wasn't Leanne. It was Amy Dement that was talking about, sorry about that, Amy. It was Amy Dement, and I will leave her link in the description box. But she was talking about the Quilters Select rotary cutter and how, yes, it is pricey, but it is very, very easy to change the blade in. It has a magnet that actually holds it. All you do is push one button, pull that out, put the blade in, put it right back. Very, very easy to change the blade. This is a weighted rotary cutter, so you don't have to put as much pressure to cut your fabrics, and it is very, very ergonomic and great if you have arthritic, neuropathy, problems with your hands. It really, really helps with that. So I also received that. And I ordered mine actually from Moore's Sewing Company because that was the cheapest supplier that I found for it. And it is the one when you go to, oh, her name just left me, but when you go to the Quilters Select official website, that is when you will click on it for where to find to purchase it. That is where they send you to. So that is where I got mine. And you all know that I love Rusty Crow Quilt Shop in North Carolina, Nags Head, North Carolina, right on the shore. Sean, an awesome, awesome gal, little family-owned quilt shop. And she carries the most wonderful, wonderful wools. And I was in need of more wool. So these are the beautiful wools that I ordered and got from her. And so that I don't, and I had that jelly roll on top of it, so you know what jelly rolls do. Of course, I put it on the black one, but I have each one of these labeled with the exact color for ordering. So if I decide that I need more, I know exactly what one it is to reorder. But I got those wool fabrics, and then I also got, and I forgot to get the book out for these. I will show you that when I do my live on Monday morning. I will show you what goes with this, but this is for the Simply Sweet Sampler Linen Stitch Along, which is 2 books that Kathy Schmitz has, and I got 2 sets because I have 2 different ones of the linen fabrics that can be used for that stitch along. So that is what I got in the mail this past week. Yes, quite a bit. I've kind of overdone it in the last, yeah. And wait until you see, okay, what I got at the shop hop, which now I have run out of room because everything did not get put back as neatly in here. We'll move this over here so that we have room to show the rest of everything and make sure we have the correct receipts with the correct merchandise. Okay, I think I have room now. But this entire, and it won't look like much at first, and I know that's going to slide off, so I'm going to put that in my hand. But this whole basket has what I was able to find and fell in love with at the One Stop Shop Hop, which, just to give you a little background on that, this is the little folder that comes when you check in, and when you look, these are all the quilt shops that were there in one place for you to check out. 33 quilt shops in one location. So very, very fun. And it even has a map on the back for where each shop is located. But that is, like I said, one that I have been going to for several years. They have it in April in the spring, and then they have it again in October in the fall. So twice a year that is held. But yeah, there were 33 shops, which I ended up purchasing from 6 of them, 2 that I will be ordering from, and 1 that will be a definite visit in person road trip to. It's about 2.5 hours from where I live. So that's a doable road trip that I will plan for sometime in the future, because Mona, it's too bad you don't live down in this area, because I walked into their booth and it was a bag maker's paradise. I just took one look and knew, ooh, this is one I will have to go and visit in person, because it was just way too much. She had everything that you would need for any bag that you were making, every pattern, fabrics, the vinyls, the leathers, everything imaginable. So I will be going and checking that one out in person. But the first shop that I stopped at, and it was like, oh, I mean, I took one look and I thought, I am in trouble. Because what did they have? And I've got this clipped on so I know what I got from each shop, but they had the fat quarter bundle of the Tilda fabric, which this is actually the second one, not the first one, got them mixed up. This is the second one that was right across the aisle from the first one, so we'll show you that in a minute. But this is 32 fat quarters of the Hibernation collection of the Tilda fabrics, and yes, I had to have that, so I purchased that. And also at this shop, which this was called the Scarlet Thread Quilt Company out of Indiana, was this cute little triangle pouch, and they had it made up and sitting on the table there, and I thought, ooh, that would make a really cute, nice size for your hand stitching or your take along supplies on any little project that you're working on. And they are actually made out of, you know, those little mini charm squares, the 2.5-inch ones. That's what that is made out of. And I, you know, pick these up almost everywhere that I go, and you always think, oh, what am I going to do with them? Which I thought I had a plan, but hey, now I have even a better plan. Wouldn't those make some great gifts? So a couple of the mini charm squares and the pattern for the pouch. And that was from the Scarlet Thread Quilt Company in Indiana. The first one that I actually went to was Side Stitch Quilt Shop, and they are out of Belpre, Ohio. And I got this cute little pin party little bag pattern from there. It is by This and That. That is Sherry K. Falls, and she lives in Minnesota, my previous home state. So always love to get her patterns and support her small business. But I also, because I have Farm Girl Vintage 2, I decided to get the Farm Girl Vintage 1 pattern book as well, which my plans are to take which ones I like best out of this one and the Farm Girl Vintage 2 and make one quilt or several small quilts, whatever it may be. However, of course, and we got this cute little pen at their shop. But there is where the Tilda started, because they had the fat quarter bundle of the Tilda Jubilee collection, which there are, I believe, there's 28 fat quarters in this bundle. And so I just had to pick that up. So I have the 2 bundles of Tilda, and I have 1 bundle already in my fat quarter collection that I believe is from Bloomsville, is the name of that collection. But I have those. And let me see, what was our next shop that ended up going to was Homegrown Home Sewn, which is based in Cincinnati, Ohio, just down the street from us. And it looks like I didn't get much there, and I didn't, but it's because they are so close. It is one that I can go to at any time if I so choose and check out and get some other things. But they had several of the mini charm square packs, so I got more of those for making the little triangle tote bag that you saw earlier. So that is what I got there. And then we're not done yet. Let's see, what did we get? Okay, at Stitch's Quilt Shop, which is also based in Cincinnati, I got these 2 cute patterns. Take a Stand. It's a stand-up tote. Really nice. I mean, they had it made up so I was able to actually look at it there. And then this is one that kind of goes with it, and it's called Running with Scissors, and it is an awesome tool tote. So I got both of those patterns at that quilt shop. And then I believe these 3 go together, which was Neff's Country Loft, which this is funny because they have a lot of the primitive and Civil War era stuff that I love, which is normally what draws my attention to that shop, and I usually end up getting quite a bit of that there. I took a totally different turn at their shop this time, and it was, the first one was, saw this beautiful, which I will take this off there so we can see it, the Chelsea Garden. Just look at that top one. Isn't that beautiful fabric? And I mean, all of them in here are just gorgeous. Gorgeous fabrics. And then they also had the Mercantile, And I got these not to use as the 5-inch squares. I'm going to cut them in fourths so that I have the 2.5-inch squares to make more of that triangle pouch. So I have plans for making quite a few of those pouches. And then they just had this one single little Lorelei panel, which, you know, is one that's not as, you know, easy and available anymore. So I picked that up also because, of course, it is all the little stitchy gals on it, everything to do with sewing and stitching, and plan to use that for bag making or a tote or something along those lines. So that was from Stitch's Quilt Shop in Cincinnati, Ohio. And my dear quilt buddy needed to return to 2 of the shops that were the first couple that we saw. She was smart. She kept going, and when she didn't find what she was looking for at another shop, she went back to the ones that she did see what she was interested in. Went back to the one, which is this one, and it's Backdoor Quilts. They are in Indiana, but I had seen a tilde pattern there also that I loved. It was a baby quilt, but I decided if I needed it, I would order it at a later date instead of getting it at that same time. So I did pass on that, but because we went back, there were a couple things that caught my eye that I didn't see the first time that we were in their shop. And the one was this beautiful divided basket, which you can see on the back there how that is beautifully divided. And I thought it would be a great way of keeping my collections of the tilde fat quarters. And I have some Robert Kaufman. I have some that are collections. So I thought that was a great use for several things, you know, in the Stitching Cottage. And then they had this cute Pentagon bowls. And there's a large one and a small one in the pattern. And I picked that up, and the little Pentagon templates that are EPP, of course. And you know me, I don't normally do EPP. I do that regular hand piecing with the seams as you would do anything else. But I will go ahead and give these a try. So that is everything that I got at the one-stop shop hop. Quite a bit, right? I think I'm going to have several things to be working on in the near future, and I hope that you will enjoy being able to follow along as I stitch on those. And one other thing I want to bring up, because these are a couple of the shops that I did not get anything from at the time, but the one, and I'm not going to say the shop right now because when I get this, I will give you the information. But just know that in the near future, there is an awesome foundation paper piecing total zoo quilt of the zoo animals all in one. I forget the measurements of it right now, but it is an awesome pattern that I am going to be getting. The designer, creator of the pattern, was actually right there in her shop with that. I got to talk to her personally. Awesome gal. I mean, just phenomenal, the patterns that she has designed, and especially the one that is called the Zoo Family Portrait is the name of the quilt. But I will be getting that pattern. It is foundation paper pieced. It is very large, and I am waiting to get it because I wanted the fabric kit that goes with it, and she was out of that at the moment. So as soon as she gets that in, it will be on its way to me, and I will be working on that one on my YouTube channel. Not giving out any information on the pattern, but you will see me working on it from time to time. But so that is everything, I do believe. I know not a lot of things that were actually completed and made this week, but still a lot of awesome things to share with you. I hope that you have enjoyed all of this. Yes, I think my purchasing is cut off for a while. That will, I've got way more and so many pretty things to work with. I won't need anything unless it's, you know, something that I specifically, little notion or something or whatever. Batting, of course, that you always needed backing, you know, comes in at the least opportune times that you need to purchase. But other than that, I think I am done for a while and need to work on what I have and get some of these beautiful items made up. Oh, and I forgot. What are my plans for the Tilda fabric? Because I love the fabric, but I've never had a specific quilt in mind in using them. And in the booth, with the one which was the the Scarlet Thread booth out of Indiana, they had some of the Tilda quilts hanging, and there was one that just was really different for Tilda because it's not what you normally see in her style. And it had a beautiful little, not a chicken standing up like you usually see, but a beautiful one sitting very demurely, or however you say that, demure, I can't pronounce that right, that if you didn't look again at the quilt, you probably wouldn't have noticed it. But as soon as I saw that, and of course, you know, I have both Farm Girl vintage patterns, I decided, my mind just clicked and it went, oh, wouldn't that be awesome to see vintage Farm Girl made out of something different and unique, and how awesome the Tilda fabrics would look in that. And I knew that just by seeing that one quilt that was hanging on that wall. So that is what I will be using my Tilda fabrics for. I will be incorporating them into Farm Girl vintage quilt, which I choose whichever of the blocks that I want out of that pattern. And there's also a beautiful heart one that I saw, so I worked up one very similar to that I may also be doing with some of the things. But so there, now I think I have covered it all. I hope that you all have an awesome last part of your Sunday and the weekend. And don't forget, I will be back on my normal schedule this coming week, starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for Stitch Talk, where if it's about stitching, let's talk. And that will come to you from the hand stitching corner, where I will be working on something that has to do with hand stitching. So thanks again, everyone. Take care. And remember, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.